15th.
Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, March 15th, 2018, here on the rancho. And good morning to all of you. I don't even want to talk about that. How I'm feeling today. It's been like this, a roller coaster stuff. I want to kind of push that past that this morning. People get tired of hearing about the medical stuff and all that. Just keep your fingers crossed. And one of these months, it may pass, hopefully, my whole GI disaster here. So I wanted to go in today, this morning, and good morning, Missy Jen. Nice to see you as per usual.
Good morning, Jessica.
Missy Jen's been playing nurse.
Nice to see you still alive.
Yeah, still
I've
alive.
been reviving and resuscitating every
Clear.
night and clear.
Yeah,
And
doing
whatnot,
all that.
pumping all kinds of stuff in our.
Thought we'd
It's
go
good.
over this morning some of the
Anyways.
stuff from the trip because we did have some people ask us some of the factoids about our trip that we completed, and that seems like good times. It hasn't been real great since we've been home. Maybe the point is to go back on the road because I don't know.
No, I just.
You know, some of the more weird, unusual aspects of our travel was I never thought I could drive 7,636 miles, Jen, without getting a ticket. And we didn't get a
Yeah,
ticket.
that was glorious.
Besides being pulled over in Kansas by that cop that time, and of course the DEA pullover and then the random border stops, we'd really never had another incident where, and we saw a lot of cops along the road
They
in
were
Kansas,
everywhere hiding like buzzes. They were
Louisiana,
flying over us like buzzards. They were hiding like lions and leopards in the side ditches.
Arizona, they were everywhere.
But
We drove 7,636
yeah,
miles on a 20-day vacation, but really only drove 17 of those days. So it was really, we were averaging 450 miles every single day. So our total drive time, though, was 144 hours behind the wheel. And it just didn't seem like that long when you break it up into days, did it, Jen? Our longest day was 745 miles. It was the first day when we drove from Santa Rosa to Salt Lake. That was 745 miles in a day.
it was a long.
Certainly not the most I've ever driven. Was 1,200 miles a day from the Quad Cities in Illinois, Iowa, all the way to Salt Lake, some 1,200 miles. People asked, did I do all the driving? Yes, except for one night I had a little bit to drink, and Jen, I think we were in Tampa.
No, we were in
Jacksonville.
Where all the construction was and all the chaotic chaos was.
Terribly confusing. It was at the Park Place Lounge with Coopin on them, and I had a little bit to drink, and I asked Missy Jen. She drove a couple miles back to the hotel.
To Jacksonville, Florida.
First time you'd ever driven the little rascal too.
And it was fun.
But otherwise, I did all the driving on the trip. The scariest incident obviously was the DEA thing because you never know how things are going to turn out, right? You start giving a hard time and all of a sudden a little white baggie appears in your van and then you've got all kinds of problems. I think the best lesson I learned was, for me, was booking through hotels.com. Reason being, Missy Jen, when you got 10 nights, and it was always nice to forward book the next day, then you got a free night. So our stay in Yuma was actually a freebie there. So I'm now a silver member of hotels.com. So I recommend that site because you can load in all your parameters. I wanted pet friendly. I wanted to have Wi-Fi, try to get a breakfast and free parking, and this thing hit it all.
And it was disabled friendly.
Disabled friendly. Now, when I rolled into Denver early on, I think the third morning, second morning, I guess, and we stayed the night there. They wanted $45 to valet the car at the Hyatt place. I'm like, what? But luckily, the next day was President's Day.
Are you serious?
And they weren't sweeping, so I decided to just take a shot and leave it on the street. Boy, am I glad that I did. But you can check all those parameters for free parking, Wi-Fi, breakfast, and all that. So I think the worst roads, people said, what was the worst road stretch you encountered? I really think, Missy Jen, Indianapolis, Indiana, when we rolled through Indianapolis, and we were literally bouncing on the potholes. I mean, that was New Orleans was bad for the streets because the potholes were
Yeah,
super
it's
deep. But
terrible.
the 70 going through Indianapolis was just terrible. That
It was like
stretch.
a really poor state, and that's when we made the videos. If you haven't seen the videos, check it out. We even mentioned to pay it forward to the state of Indianapolis, pay your taxes.
Well, actually, the state of Indiana, and yeah,
Oh,
pay
yeah,
your road
Indiana.
taxes.
Pay your road taxes, that's right.
What's the closest I ever came to an accident was in Yuma, Arizona. We were coming home from, where were we doing, Jen? I don't know what we were doing. I turned in to get some gas. I did not see another turn lane within my left-hand side, and I started to turn in and pulled right in front of a guy coming up in the turn lane.
That was scary.
Luckily, he hit his brakes, and it all turned out okay. But that was
My
pretty.
heart almost jumped out of my chest.
The weirdest town for me was Yuma, Arizona. Reason being, Jen, because it was so carved up and it was on such rough terrain. You had the bluffs overlooking the Colorado River there with the Indian Mission, St. Thomas Indian Mission, and then you had the bridges below. And on one side was California, and the other side was Colorado. But you also had an Indian reservation there, so you really had three.
Yeah.
And Mexico, you had four places come together, so it was
Yeah,
a very
that
unusual.
old prison there.
Had the old territorial prison
The
in Yuma,
310 Yuma train.
and they had a lot of bikers and stuff rolling around town, so it made it kind of.
I'm telling you, this town, the city, had an eerie feeling as if there was a curse upon the town. I can't tell.
Yeah, I think the curse came down on me.
It was weird. I never felt a feeling like that anywhere else. It was weird.
The unexpected on the trip when we decided to roll into Mexico. We had no intention of going into Mexico.
No plan whatsoever.
But then when they dinged the $6 for the trip,
Yeah.
we said, hey, you know what? We're going to go into Mexico, and we had a good time.
It's
So in
great.
order for me, I don't know about Missy Jen, but the most intriguing places for me, the top three were Baton Rouge, Yuma, and San Antonio. Those are three places that I would definitely enjoy going back. I don't know about you, Jen, if there was anything that you thought was particularly.
San Antonio was great. Baton Rouge, the Red Stick. Yeah.
The friendliest people, without a doubt, were in Louisiana. I thought everybody from top to bottom, from Jimmy Swagger Church right on down the line, Richard and Clayton, everybody was as wonderful as they could be. The food,
the cuisine,
and the scariest people, no doubt, that Tampa to Tallahassee, that ride through the swamplands up where Florida curves. Guys, stick to the interstates.
If you want to make a body disappear, it can disappear like this quick.
No, I think for me, if you wanted a body disappearing going west of Baton Rouge, there's about 20 miles of raised causeway that go out over the swamps. Just stop anywhere you want at 4 a.m. and just toss the body out.
Kick it off the curb.
They'll never find it.
The swamp comes right up to the curbside.
All right, guys, a little something interesting from us on a Thursday morning. Thanks so much for being along. A little bit of the highlights, weirdness, the craziness, and the friendliness on our trip. Thanks so much for watching.